Alrighty, I'm Kelly with Evertz. We're here to show you what we got at InfoComm 2022. We're going to take you through our 10 gig routing platform for AV over IP with integration with IPMX and 2110. What Evertz is showing this year is our tight integration with IPMX and 2110 and kind of expanding on how we're integrating traditional AV over IP into hybridized broadcast AV combined spaces. So Evertz sort of niche market is where there is a large SDI presence as well as HDMI, and you want the flexibility of IP in terms of multiple formats, resolutions, signal types, while maintaining the flexibility of IP. We also push the majority of our content fully uncompressed, which means you truly get that zero latency, pixel in, pixel out performance. You know, a lot of our customers are driving live event spaces, operation centers where failure is not really an option. And with our broadcast background, we've really poured that into our AV offerings. So today I'll take you through a couple of our endpoints and explain how they work in the ecosystem. So high level, Evertz differs in their AV over IP offering in that we support both a COTS network environment as well as a purpose-built Evertz core. So with our Evertz cores, we support from 16 ports of 10 gig all the way up to over 2,000 ports. With our Evertz switches, you're guaranteed a non-blocking architecture, meaning you're never going to have to run into bandwidth limitations in terms of your routing. It also simplifies the network rollout in that this is not a IGMP network-based solution. It's a purpose-built AV solution over IP. So our switches have a lot of the intelligence pulled out of them, meaning that the control system is all you really have to work with in order to get the routing going. So the idea is that it looks and feels like baseband, even though it is technically at its core IP. So in terms of gateways, we've got a wide variety compared to a lot of our competition. So starting at the smallest form factor, you've got a nice small compact device. You've got either passive cooling or there is a fan option as well. What's unique about Evertz is we're able to support multiple I/O per gateway. So this particular device is a true transceiver, meaning it's doing one in and one out simultaneously over one connection to the switch. A lot of times this helps you save hardware. So if you've got a camera back of room and a display, you're dropping one piece of hardware and really simplifying the amount of cable that you have to pull. We've also got 4x2 boxes, so small meeting rooms, huddle spaces, drop a box in, I get the matrix switch 4x2 in the room, but I also get that transport and IP infrastructure on the back end. So overflow, signage, emergency services, all of those advantages are tied into that baseband look and feel. In terms of our standards-based approach, it's a question we get a lot. So currently we support 3 different options. Evertz supports Aspen, which was our attempt at creating a really nice standard for the AV world, where compression is something that we do run into with 4K 60 444. That wasn't really available in 2110 initially. So Aspen was our first solution to get a deployable system. The market's really moved towards 2110 and IPMX these days. So now Evertz, being a standards-based house, is adopting those into our infrastructures as well. What that means is you can deploy a live event space day one running Evertz Aspen, really easy to deploy, none of the complexity of PTP and all of those other things that come with a 2110 environment, and run it day one. But all of your hardware is future-proofed to move to 2110 or IPMX based on firmware. We do also have deployed solutions that are running both IPMX ready, an early version of IPMX, in unison with 2110. So 2110 is a mainstay on our broadcast side of the company, and we're integrating that 2110 directly into some of our AV gateways that are running IPMX. So you can write from one to the other and vice versa, which really simplifies these large enterprise customers that have broadcast production ecosystems as well as their traditional AV. So that's what we're showing here today. This would be one of our Scorpion 2 units from our broadcast side, so a throwdown box that's running 2110 native. So this can tie in directly to your PTP 2110 environment, and that's connected directly via fiber, getting an IP 2110 source into one of our AV gateways that's IPMX supported. One thing we're releasing this year that we think is really cool is IP wall plates. So no more tying in your HE-based T to have to hit a separate encoder to bring yourself into the IP domain. Now you get that nice architectural wall plate infrastructure directly into the switch. So that is basically a 2-gang wall plate, taking in my video as well as serial control and pulling it directly into your network switch to route to any other Evertz gateways in the system. I would encourage you to visit our website, av.evertz.com, to learn more. Reach out to your local sales rep through that website to get more information. Thanks.